First things first, I'm just going to say that this is all around good news about Frieren Beyond Journey's End. However, I do want to temper my expectations and let you all know that you should probably temper your expectations. And I don't like to be that type of person, but just this year alone has proven time and time again with a bunch of different anime, and as of like one anime recently, Zom 100, that's something that starts off really well, something that does excellent and just causes a lot of attention, a lot of hype, and just overall it's a beautiful story, very unique and very ambitious just project, turns out to just go into production hell and goes on indefinite hiatus. Zom 100, as we know, is currently on indefinite hiatus. We don't know when it's going to return. At earliest, if I had to say it's going to return, it's probably going to return at the end of the year, at earliest. So it's just like, there's been a lot of projects just this year alone that's had that happen to it. And Frieren Beyond Journey's End getting this information that it's going to be basically having 28 episodes here. I'll show you that, it's confirmed to have 28 episodes in total, and it's going to be consecutive airing until March 2024 is pretty impressive. And let's kind of explain why this is good news, why this is impressive, and why I said temper your expectations. For one, nowadays, when it comes to anime being released, I'm just gonna, pull out the catalog. I mean, this is Madhouse, and they're not really I guess they're not really the same as most anime nowadays, but the thing is when anime is released, usually they're split core. Like, we have core 1, and then core 2, core 3, etc. Let's think about Bleach. Bleach has been split into multiple cores. Mushoku Tensei from last season is split into 2 cores. There's a bunch of anime that's continuously split that just has come out as of late. And the reason for it is because production and time investment and just there's not enough time to do a consecutive run of a series, or it's just going to be absolute dog water. It's going to be awful. So they have to split it up and, do the last 12 or 13 episodes later on, many seasons later. That's why we have Mushoku Tensei and, Bleach, etc. being done like it is. It's healthy for production. So we don't normally get, let's say, consecutive anime like seasons. Like, we don't normally get a consecutive 25, 24 episode run anymore. It's honestly rare nowadays. Like, we get it, but if you go back 5, 6 years ago, okay? It was the norm for an anime to last that long, at least 20 episodes. It was normal for this to always happen. Nowadays, though, you don't get, like, consecutive 2-core anime as much. It is very rare in comparison to what it was. And hearing that Frieren Beyond Journey's End is going to be 28 episodes in total, more than the normal length of an anime, and it's going to be airing until March 2024, basically at the start of April. Oh, hey, Casca, how you doing, girl? But, basically, at the end of, March is when Frieren's going to end. That's a long while. I mean, let's put this in perspective, okay? We are in October. That means that we're going to go from October, November, December, January, February, and then March. Multiple months of Frieren, non-stop. And this is where it gets into the temper of expectations. Because of how production is nowadays and just how anime is, it's very clear that, just there's not a lot of animators to go around. There's a lot of things under the hood that's been going on, and just anime can't keep up. The production can't keep up, and many anime have had to been delayed, so to speak. And so I am concerned that Frieren will run into this issue eventually, because of just the demand that the project obviously requires. I mean, let's think about, these first 5 episodes are already released. Like, the first episode that technically is 4, and then, the 5th episode. It was a very ambitious release. I think anyone can agree with that one. It was very ambitious. It was very clear the overall intention of Frieren's release was to be very similar to Oshinoko. That is definitely what was being done there, especially with, Yasobi doing the opening song. It was just very intentional that they wanted to garner attention, very similar that Oshinoko did earlier this year. And just the ambition behind the project and the color palette to the background scenery, the voice acting to the music, there is a lot of love being put into the project, a lot of time being invested. And will the animators and everyone else that's working on this project be able to do it? Now, clearly, to be able to release 4 episodes at once, there has to be some form of ahead of schedule going on. I mean, you don't just release 4 episodes instantly without being somewhat ahead of schedule. That's the truth. Because normally when an anime is coming out, like, when they're working on a show, usually the first episode comes out, and they're still probably working on maybe the 4th or 5th episode. That typically can happen. And so the fact that they released the first 4 episodes, and then there was no delay between the 5th episode, and we know 6 is coming very soon, it's like, okay, clearly they are, maybe a little bit ahead of schedule. So there is good news there. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but is that light faded? Is it fake? Or is it possible that they really can give us 28 episodes with no delays whatsoever, besides holidays? Because there will be holiday delays. That's a given. It's not even their fault. It's just holidays. So if we're not counting holidays, will they be able to do it? But let's take a look at Madhouse's track record. I mean, they have made some of my favorite anime of all time, and I think many people can also say they've made their favorite. I mean, let's just look at this list. Let's go a little bit lower, and let's just take a look. I mean, they've worked on Hunter x Hunter 2011 and the movies. They've worked on classics, like straight up classics like, Chihai Furu. They've done, Death Parade. I mean, you can keep going up this list, you can pause yourself. They have made a lot, like No Game, No Life. I mean, I know we're still waiting for a season 2, but still, No Game, No Life. They made, One Punch Man. They started with Overlord. They did, My Love Story. I mean, they did Diamond No Ace. I mean, you can see that they have made a lot of good shows over the years. Some are bad, yes, but they have legit made some fantastic anime throughout these years. And, ever since basically, like, Aka 13 and, like, Overlord Season 3, they kind of faded a little bit, and there was a lot of sporadic release. They didn't release as much anime, because if you go back, back to early 2010s, they were releasing anime constantly. And then eventually they fizzled. MAPPA was created. As you know, a lot of employees from Madhouse went to MAPPA, FYI there if you didn't know, and Madhouse kind of faded a little bit. And then they finally started to make more anime once they went back to No Guns Life and Sunny Boy, and then they slowly started ramping back up more anime consecutively, and then they started releasing more bangers, like, Yamada. Oh, that was a good show. And then now we're getting into, Frieren. So, Madhouse as a company, they have always been very consistent with their releases. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of structure change, a lot of employees are different now, but if we look at the past of Studio Madhouse, they literally have never ran into those issues where they have multiple delays like that. They have definitely had production issues, but they have never ran into the issues that's plagued this year for a bunch of different shows. I'm not saying that they're immune to it, but if we just look at Madhouse, they have usually overcome those odds. So if there's any anime studio that can actually do this with looking at the track record, it's Madhouse. Like, I think Madhouse is definitely capable of it for 28 episode consecutive airing. So yeah, I want to share this news, because I know there's a lot of people that really love Frieren and are wondering how long is it going to be airing. Are they going to have to, like, wait for after the 12 episodes? They're going to wait, a full season or 2 just to be able to watch the second half? Is it going to just be like 20 episodes, 12 episodes? Well, you got the information now. It's 28 episodes, consecutive, non-stop airing. So we have Frieren right now, every single week, until March. The end of March. Wild. Okay, wanted to be the bearer of good news. Be safe, everyone. I love you. And Chibi out.